Back here on SportsLine after a Titans win on Sunday against the Raiders. Next up, a trip to Indianapolis this Sunday, noon kickoff against the hated Indianapolis Colts. Interesting deal in this series, though. The Colts had dominated for so much of the 21st century. Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck at quarterback are big reasons why. But since Luck's been gone, it has been predominantly the Titans. They have been in control over the last 3 seasons, basically. They've won 5 of 6 in that stretch, and they go to Indianapolis looking to win again against this Colts team. It would be a huge one to get the opener in the division. It would knock Indianapolis to 0-2-1 in the division, which would certainly be a huge blow to their hopes in the AFC South race. But Titans on the road in Indianapolis looking for a second straight win. Here was Mike Vrabel, though, Sunday after the Titans held on, talking about the fast start, the crazy finish, and what it means to get a win.
Mike, losing your left tackle this week to protect Ryan and get off to the start that you all did, how important was that to be able to stack up 24 points in the first half? Yeah,
it was amazing. You know, I mean, it was great. That's what the expectations are. Converted there at the end where we were able to get a stop, punt, and get some points there. That's kind of what we were looking for. We wanted to take the ball, went down, scored. You know, and then just could never get anything going in the second half, and the momentum, you know, really just switched, and they were, you know, able to convert, you know, hit X plays or whatever it may be. But, you know, we got to finish better. But I love the way they compete and fought. You know, I give the Raiders a lot of credit, but I got to, you know, give our guys a lot of credit too.
Did you sense a different, like, sense of urgency or aggressiveness from Derrick Henry running the football today?
I mean, I think that's just what we expect. You know, I think that's what we expect. And, you know, Ryan did a nice job of getting them the football when they got out of there. And Derrick was able to secure it, turn, and pick up some nice yardage. And, you know, when we were able to check it down to him, you know, I thought he ran hard. I thought he ran with a purpose. But that's what the expectations are for us with Derrick, and Derrick for himself. I know that. You know, he wants to be that type of player.
A lot of these games come down to a play. I mean,
yeah.
How good is it just to find a way to...
Find a way to make a play. You know, find a way to make a play. They did. You know, give them a lot of credit. The way they competed, you know, a couple times we had it. But in this game, it's not over. And even, you know, Hoop going out there and going to get the football there on the onside kick is huge as well. But, you know, Dylan was able to make a play there at the end. You know, just a couple weeks ago, he wished he had probably a play, you know, opportunity at that same play. And it was cool to see him be able to tip that ball and help us win.
Speaking of making a play, how big was Byard's interception to turn them away in the red zone when it looked like they had a sure 3?
Yeah, I thought it was, you know, a good change up and, you know, change the look on them and, you know, just try to get it back in there. And, you know, we're lucky that they tipped it up and had some bodies there. And, you know, those are, you know, being able to stop them in the red zone was a huge part of today.
In particular there in the second half, Mike, you talked about the offense. Anything in particular that was...
I mean, we'll just have to look. You know, I mean, we kind of got behind the chains a little bit, and, you know, they brought some different looks. And, again, we had to be, you know, anticipating some things would change at halftime. And we just weren't able to make productive plays on first down and extend some drives, and then obviously the turnover there. But, you know, we battled through.
With the red zone D success that you alluded to, what does it take to have the kind of success that you guys had?
Well, I think it takes some discipline. You know, I mean, we kind of had who we had, and, you know, we were trying to take a couple guys away. Did that, you know, but to be able to get down in the red zone and force some turnovers and not panic, which is fantastic. You know, hold them to some field goals and get a turnover. You know, it's going to go a long way this year if we can play red zone defense like that.
What did you see from Terrence Mitchell during the week that convinced you could rely on him as much as you did?
Well, you know, I mean, I think that's just the approach that we took last week and prepared him. And, you know, we'll have to see what it looks like this week. You know, every week is a different week. And, you know, we've got to find some guys that can go out there and cover and challenge and compete. And we'll keep searching. And we got some guys there that we'll give another look to this week.
You looking for more confidence from Caleb, Mike? Just not see what you want to see from him this week?
Just trying to get guys ready to play in the game. You know, just trying to get everybody ready on a short turnaround after, you know, what happened in Buffalo, just getting back and making sure that we decided who we were going to go with and then get them ready with the limited amount of reps. So we'll evaluate this week, Jim.
How did you like the way the defense played? You gave a lot of yards. You held them to a couple of field goals, and then, of course, you got to stop.
Yeah, just the X plays. You know, the X plays, the deep penalties, the 4th down conversions. It's like, man, it's really good, and then it's really, not very good. And so we have to figure out what that is we're relaxing or what, but there's some opportunities in there where it looks like defense and it looks like we know what we're doing, and then other times there's lapses, and we have to eliminate the lapses.
When you get that rush attack going the way you did, how much does that help make play action that much more?
It does, and it does. And it helps with protection. It helps, stopping these guys that knew it would be a challenge. Got a lot of respect for Max and Chandler and everybody over there. But I think for the most part, our guys held up and really did a nice job taking care of Ryan. And, the other time he did a nice job stepping up and finding Nick Westbrook, I thought, on a big conversion.
How good was it to get Robert going early? Because it almost seemed like you passed in order to be able to run at times.
Yeah, there were some times there, we just staying balanced early. It felt like there was a lot of opportunities there. Todd and I and, Tim and Keith put together the run plan. So give those guys a credit on a short week, especially, getting back late. And things kind of complemented each other. Now, we'll have to get back and figure out, ways to duplicate that, going forward, and especially in the second half.
Like, how big of a loss is Taylor for the season, and what did you see from Dennis this week, getting all those reps and taking over that job?
Yeah, Dennis was in on the second play of the game, and did a nice job last week against Buffalo. We need everybody, so every injury is a loss, but it's also an opportunity for somebody else. And I'm sure Dennis had some plays he'd like back, and he competed, and I know we'll continue to work with him and get him into our program.
How valuable was it the way Ryan was getting the ball out so fast with his decision making?
Well, being decisive against a good front is important. I thought the receivers for the most part were pretty decisive, had some separation. And then helped us in the run game. So you can't sit there and hold it all day. But I thought that there was a good plan to take away those guys and give us a chance to throw the football.
Anything that led you in particular to throwing the ball so often to Derek today? Like, did you see something?
I think just was there. I think Ryan was just doing a nice job of taking, what was there. They were getting out there and the umbrella was opening, and we've had other games where that happens, and so staying disciplined and getting it there. So those are huge plays, and Derek is just catch it and get going forward and fall forward, take care of the football. You're looking at 9 yards.
I know it was tough 2 weeks to start the season. How much could a win maybe help to build some momentum?
I think it'll help everybody. I think it'll just help everybody. Losing sucks, especially when you're used to winning and you have high expectations. I'm excited for the players. I really am. I know that they'd, probably deserved one earlier in the season, and we didn't end up with it. But, you only get what you fight for in this league. And I thought they fought for it today, and, I'm happy for them.
It was a big one to get. There's no question about that, because Mike Vrabel's right. The Titans should have won in week 1 against the Giants, and they coughed that one up in the second half. They got blown out in Buffalo. First 0-2 start in a decade after high expectations. You were the #1 seed in the AFC last year, and then you come back and you're in a dogfight. You have a lead, it's evaporating, and it comes down to making a play at the end. I tell you what, if the Raiders convert that and then go on to win in overtime, I honestly don't know how you recover from that. If you were 0-3, losing a second game at home by blowing a lead in the second half in that fashion, that would be a very difficult thing for any team to come back from. Now, Mike Vrabel's very even keel at all times. He would certainly try and recenter things. And you remember back to 2009, the Titans were absolutely atrocious in the first month of the season. They hit a bye week, and they came back and they ran off 5 straight wins and got themselves back to a place where the season became respectable. But even then, as good as they were playing late in the season, when you start 0-6 like they did, you're probably not going anywhere. And you start 0-3 in that fashion, you start having real questions if you're the Titans. And they avoided that on Sunday. Get a little bit of that confidence going. They're finally in the win column. That monkey's off their back a little bit. And now you go to Indianapolis on Sunday with a chance to really prove something against the Colts. Again, that offense got off to a great start on Sunday. In the locker room after the game, our John Burton caught up with wide receiver Nick Westbrook-Akina.
Nick, 0-2 coming in, several key players down on both sides of the ball, yet you guys were able to find a way to get it done today and get your first win. It's got to feel good. 1-2, I'm sure, sounds a lot better than 0-3.
Oh, yeah. It always feels good to win. It doesn't matter how it looks. It always feels good to win. So let's just keep it rolling, as we go into some division play now.
Yeah, the offense was on fire to start the game. Touchdowns on your first 3 possessions. Things seemed to slow down a little bit in the second half. What were they doing? And do you think those things that were happening are correctable on your end?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like it's just all part of the process. The 2 weeks before this, obviously we were struggling a lot, just all over the place. And then being able to come out, be pretty dominant the whole first half, that's a step in the right direction. And now, the focus is in next week, to put the whole thing together and just have a complete game.
Yeah, you got to give the Raiders credit for coming back and making a game out of it. This is the NFL, you kind of expect that, but the fact that you guys were able to do enough to get out of there with a W, what does that say about where this team may be heading going forward?
Yeah, it's huge. It just shows that, we're always going to compete. And the biggest thing is just keep fighting and let the scoreboard, reflect in the end. So definitely something to build on. Like I said, it's always fun to win. It's not easy to win in this league. So it just feels great.
You mentioned divisional play. It starts next week. Colts beat the Chiefs today. You're heading up there next week. Early in the season, but a huge divisional game. And as they say, it counts twice, right?
Yeah. Huge game, against a team that a lot of the personnel we know in the scheme. So just got to take this week, the day-by-day approach. It worked this week for us. Continue the same process.
Special for you, of course, just like Michael Jackson, going back to Indiana.
Oh, yeah, back to Indiana land.
Nick, appreciate the time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Nick Westbrook-Akina is a guy that looks forward to that game every year. He's had some great moments against the Colts. First career touchdown came against them. Had a touchdown catch in Indianapolis a year ago as well. As the Titans went up there and won, he's looking forward to going back home to Indiana land, as he just said there, and seeing family, friends, and hopefully getting a win with the Titans. Kickoff Sunday at noon. Of course, we'll have you covered on that leading up to the game and, of course, post-game as well. We'll take a break. We'll get into some college football after this. Josh Heupel after the Vols' big win over rival Florida. That's next here on SportsLine.